Hello guys, welcome to my channel Psychology Point. Today we are talking about the psychology of the career trap no one warns you about. So let's expose the exhaustion of the default path. You meet all the benchmarks. You secure the degree, the role, the salary, and the expected milestones of a successful professional life. Yet, the persistent result is profound structural exhaustion. On paper, the material stability suggests you should feel secure. In practice, the daily routine steadily drains your focus, your patience, and your physical energy. Clinical psychology often treats this fatigue as an individual deficit, a lack of resilience, poor time management, or a failure to optimize your routine. But mapping the environment reveals a different mechanism at work. We are going to examine what we will call the invisible machine. This is the structural environment most people inhabit without realizing they were enrolled. Chronic exhaustion in this environment is not a malfunction. It is the mathematical baseline of the system you are operating within. This excerpt from a recent behavioral analysis series outlines the exact nature of this environment. The default life path is a machine, efficient, self-perpetuating, and indifferent to your individual fulfillment. People rarely volunteer for this extraction. They enter through unconscious enrollment, taking the route of least resistance, following standardized academic and corporate tracks until they are locked into a trajectory they did not actively design. It earns the title of a machine because it operates purely on input and output. It does not measure your personal satisfaction. It only cares about sustaining its own cycle. To understand how this operates, we have to strip away the cultural narratives and disassemble the machine using behavioral economics. By identifying the precise borders of this default path, enrollment shifts from a passive accident to a visible choice. In this system's dynamics model, the primary fuel source is human energy. Your time, your focus, and your output flow continuously into the machine. This establishes the law of indifferent extraction. The machine has no internal mechanism to stop taking, as long as you provide input. There is no built-in governor valve. Your corporate hierarchy or industry standard does not possess a feedback loop that automatically halts your work to ensure your personal recovery. The system only stops extraction when the individual node registers as completely empty. This complete lack of empathy is what creates its high efficiency, of a mechanism that pauses to nurture its fuel source only when it loses momentum. Because the machine will never voluntarily halt its extraction process, the mathematical burden of setting a boundary falls entirely on you. When operating in a state of high burnout, it is a common emotional response to view modern work culture as a malicious entity, actively trying to harm you. But returning to the psychological verdict, the text explicitly corrects this. The default life path is not evil. It is a machine, indifferent to your individual fulfillment. There is a strict difference between malice and automation. A combustion engine does not hate the gasoline it burns. It simply processes it to propel itself forward. Reclassifying the system from evil to indifferent is a tactical requirement. It shifts your reaction from moral outrage, which wastes more of your energy, to calculated navigation. Systemic efficiency strictly optimizes for its own survival. It will consume the maximum viable output of its participants to maintain its structural integrity. You cannot reason with an indifferent mechanism. You can only dictate the exact volume of your life you are willing to let it process. If the absolute drain on energy is constant, we must ask why highly capable individuals remain inside the loop. The model demonstrates a secondary mechanism at play. We define this return flow as the comfort protocol. It is the system's primary method of behavioral control. The system rewards your continued compliance with material ease, a salary bump, a title change, a few weeks of paid leave. It provides exactly enough to make the cost of extraction tolerable. This reward is precisely engineered. It is dispensed in careful increments to prevent rebellion, but restricted so it never grants true operational autonomy. It replaces the biological need for genuine fulfillment with the anesthetic of predictability. This systemic comfort is not a reward for your excellence. It is maintenance fuel, calibrated to keep you actively pedaling inside the extraction loop. This comfort loop forces a specific psychological state. Inside the individual node, constant friction develops. You start to wonder if questioning the path is actually worth the trouble. The fear of losing calibrated comfort acts as a cognitive dampener, feeding your internal doubt. The machine is optimized to make the prospect of leaving feel infinitely more dangerous and difficult than the slow fatigue of staying. This psychological friction is routinely misinterpreted as cowardice. In reality, it is a deliberate design feature engineered to minimize the leakage of highly productive subjects. The hesitation you feel when considering a radical career change is not a personal failure. It is the machine's security system operating flawlessly. This brings us to the final clinical finding in our source document. Highlighting the end of the text, it reads that wondering right there, is the system working exactly as intended? Generating self-doubt is the most cost-effective method of population control. It is infinitely cheaper to have subjects police themselves through anxiety than to enforce compliance externally. The machine achieves peak operational success when you are too mentally paralyzed to hit the brakes. It takes your energy unconditionally, returns only enough comfort to sustain your physical presence, and relies on your own fear of instability to close the loop. If you find yourself questioning whether your trajectory is worth the energy it requires, you have located the exact coordinate where the machine exerts its maximum control. The power of this mechanism relies almost entirely on its invisibility. By zooming out and mapping the full flowchart, the system becomes transparent. Reclaiming your behavioral autonomy does not start with an emotional battle against your employer. It starts with an accurate structural analysis of where your energy is actually going. The goal of dissecting this model is to transform your participation from a default unconscious state into a deliberate choice. True freedom does not consist of finding a corporate system that cares about your well-being. It is found in understanding an indifferent system well enough to finally step out of it. Have you ever felt exhausted even though everything in your life looks fine on paper? Drop a comment below. What's one thing the comfort protocol has used to keep you in place? And have you ever stepped outside the machine? Okay guys, take care and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe my channel. Thank you.